My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Respectable way to do this thing, to do the wrong thing. Like,
okay, I can agree.
We're still going to say there's still wrong.
And I'm still going to say there's a more respectable way to do the wrong thing. Because
you still disrespecting her?
Yeah, like the thing about it is like you're still dishonest and like, but the thing about it is you were saying the girls trip. Well, if she don't get caught, she can do it every day. The girls trip don't make a difference. If she can play the game and just nigga every day and never get caught, it's respectable. What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg, joined with my co-host, Razi and Buff. Fellas, tell them what's on your minds.
So, I want to start off by saying how awesome Sandman is. So, if you guys haven't seen Sandman, for the folks out there that like Lucifer or Supernatural, those shows back in the day, Sandman will be right up your alley. It's supernatural. It's a really good take on, if anybody knows who Morpheus is, the Sandman, he's, the king of dreams or whatever. A nightmare escapes. He has to come into the real world to get the nightmare, and all hell ensues. So really, really good show. If you're into that, it's fantasy horror, that type of thing. So it's a dope show. If you like that, go check that out. And also, I've had a couple people hit me up about buying houses and getting mortgages and everything. And so I wanted to impart a little bit of knowledge on everybody and the listeners today. So if you're out and you're thinking about getting a house and you want to get a mortgage, right now rates are really, really, really high. And what I will tell you is don't sleep on adjustable rate mortgages, ARMs, or variable rate mortgages. A 3 or a 5 year ARM actually is a really good play right now because mortgages are really, really high. Interest rates, they can be up in the 6s right now, and variable rate mortgages probably are in your 5s. You'll get maybe 1% less on there. Yes, housing prices. Yes, Buff, you're right. Housing prices are super high as well. So really, I would tell you it's probably not the time to buy. But if you are going to get a house, you really can't time the market. You need a house right now. Go look at a variable rate and don't be scared of them because you can always refinance in the next 5 years. Hopefully prices will be back down. That might be a little problem with you trying to refinance if it doesn't appraise. But what I will tell you is over probably the next 3 to 5 years, rates are going to be going down. And so it'll probably adjust down for you instead of adjusting up when it's time for it to adjust. So check out some variable rates, some ARMs, talk to your mortgage broker, whoever's doing your mortgage, your bank, and look at that as an option because it can save you a good bit of money by having your interest rate a lot lower.
So how does that work with things like VA loans, or are there any special programs they can enroll in that would help them get lower rates?
Yeah. So most VA loans, they do have an adjustable rate VA loan. Some places do. It just depends on the bank and who's doing it. FHAs are fixed. You're not going to get an adjustable rate mortgage on that. But it just depends. But like I said, it's just one of those options where take a look at that and see, is that rate going to be better for you? Even if you're, say, eligible for a VA loan or an FHA loan, the adjustable rate mortgage may end up being cheaper, even though the FHA loan gives you a higher percentage or lower percentage that you have to put down. So just look at the option and talk to your broker, and they can kind of run all the numbers and tell you what'll make more sense. But I'm just telling the listeners, don't be scared of a variable rate right now because rates are so high that variable rate actually makes more sense for you.
Man, it's been crazy with loans over the last 2 years. The pandemic giveth and taketh away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember at one point in time, everybody was trying to refi. And I thought I was going to be moving a little sooner. I should have took advantage of it. I know, Buff, you refied. Razi, did you?
Nah, I'm at like 2.8. Ain't no refine over here.
Yeah, mine was pretty low too initially. So, all right, what else? That's all you got for us?
Yeah, man, that's all I got. Oh, have y'all heard the song that If I Get Caught? I can't even say the dude's name. It's DVSN or DVSN. I don't know what it is, but it's like this wild new song out there, and it's like if I get caught cheating, that don't mean I don't love you. So it's like the new toxic song that's out right now. So it's hilarious. So if you haven't heard that song,
is it just him speaking the truth? I mean,
it is. It's him speaking the truth, man. He was like, I was gonna get right back. You know, that's just from Nanny. So yeah, it's a hilarious song, man. So go check that out.
Cheating does not equal a lack of love.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of kickback from that. Have you heard the new the one with, who is it? Tiny and, oh my God, who's the other chick? Tiny from T.I.'s wife. Yeah, they done came out with a new like fuck nigga free type song. I have to find it for you. It's I listened to like all of 12 seconds of it and it's like, I'm over this.
That F is
so... Yeah, shoot it to me. You know I might like it.
It's so bad, but it's like, it's good.
It's catchy. It's just catchy.
It's terrible though. It's awful. But, you know, women like it.
I think it's Candy.
It rides. Hey, while you looking for that, man, I'll get in what I got. Cause I got a lot. I thought Razi was gonna probably touch one of them. That's why I let him go first. But while we've been gone, Black Panther 2 came out with their trailer. Had a lot of people watery-eyed. Looks like it's gonna be dope. On HBO Max, there's a new show from Issa Rae called Rap.
Hold on.
Some people think, what's up?
Are you wearing all white at the release like they asked the people to?
I might play along. I didn't dress up for the first one like some people did. It's not really my thing, but I might wear some all white. What you gonna do, Razi?
Yeah, that's the hard part for me is, do I wear white or do I dress up? I don't know. I kind of want to cosplay, but I think I'm probably gonna go with the white just to
be with the people. Stop being an individual.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would be dope. It would be dope for the movie theaters across the country to have a whole bunch of black people in there dressed in white. Man, that definitely be dope. So I'm gonna play along.
You know, I hate when people dress alike though. That's kind of like a pet peeve.
Yeah, but you know, black people love their all white parties. So you just basically making the movie theater an all white party.
That's all.
And by black people love all white parties, you know, I hate all white parties. It's like my.
Oh, they know. All white parties. And a bunch of rosé parties now. Rap HBO Max. Some people think that's based on City Girls. It's loosely based on them, but Issa said it's based on just a collection of female rappers trying to make it in the game. First 3 episodes, pretty dope. 4th episode, but it's worth checking out. Will Smith apologized. I don't know if y'all saw that. It's not for us to accept. It's really only for Chris Rock to accept, but I know
who said he's not. So
right.
Chris Rock was like, nah, I ain't down for that.
But I mean, I'm as far as like, I know people like that say, have you forgiven Will or whatever like that, or you know, when you watch his movies, I never took that hard stance. I thought what he did was wrong and kind of made, but it was a moment, and I don't want to define him from that one moment. Will Smith is, from what I've seen, is a good dude. He's done some great things, so. I don't want to hold that against him and let that define his life. And last, man, arguably the GOAT is retiring. Serena, she just lost her, what I guess is her last match today in straight sets. So I hate that I never got a chance to see her in person play. I always said, you know, I want to go to a tennis match, but just never got around to pulling the trigger on it. But arguably the GOAT, man, fantastic career. I love the movie that came. Matter of fact, the movie that Will Smith won the Oscar for. I love that movie. So, congratulations on a fantastic career, man. Well done.
When you said the GOAT was retiring, I thought you were about to say Angela Yee was leaving the Breakfast Club. I'm like, he's a fool. I want to start off.
My bad, real quick for Texas. It was hot. Very hot. Just want to let you know that. But no, man, I hope I did you and Z proud with the role I was thrown into, man. Great, fantastic function, bro. I think I told you that maybe 10 times the day of, man. But everything was great.
I appreciate it, man.
Congrats again to both of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So that's where I was going to start with. I really thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, both Z and I. I mean, the two roles you played, Razi, the de facto best man. I mean, no question. Everybody knew that was your role. But Buff, I said it earlier that day. The reason I wanted you to be that part is because you inspired me when I look towards marriage and what I wanted to be at least close to as a husband. You know, the way you honor and cherish your wife and family, you know, like that's saying a lot. And also coming from similar backgrounds where we didn't necessarily have that 2-person household, and you made the best of your situation to not even the best of your situation. You took that situation and turned into what I would say is a great situation, you know, to the point where you're inspiring others. So I couldn't think of a better person to help us celebrate our renewal than you. But man, I had a blast that weekend, bro. Every part of it. I even talked to my therapist about it. He was just like, you guys did everything and more I could ask for. Even when I was trying to be me and trying to figure out how I can help, you guys like, dog, we got it. Relax. You know, even that night at the club, I'm like, oh man, okay, we got a bottle. Okay, here's a second. Okay, there's 4 bottles on the table. I don't know whose credit card we use. Like, in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm calculating like how much I can send and all this. Like, my whole thing, I just wanted you guys to enjoy yourselves. I wanted you to leave Houston happy. From the moment you got there, from the moment we got together, it was nothing but love, fun, the cigar bar. Once again, a shout out to the Jet Spot. I think we had a blast there. I never thought a barbershop could be that fun and entertaining. And that was 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. You know, so think about on a regular day, you know, or when it starts going on, just everything about it, and just that the ceremony, the time we spent together, definitely one of the most enjoyable weekends I've ever had in my life. And the people that were there, you guys included, were all handpicked. There were people that I could not invite, we couldn't invite, but the people that did make it and that were there for a reason. So with that, I thank you. But on another note, man, I got a lot to talk about, man. First of all, I have failed as a father. My daughter, they finished dinner and they wanted snacks, and Sky I forgot what she got, some candy. And I asked her, what do you think TJ wants? So how do you pronounce a little hard shell candy that melts in your mouth, not in your hand?
M&M's?
Say it again.
Yeah.
Razi?
M&M's.
Yeah, M&M's.
My daughter called it M&M's. So like, I think TJ wants should I give him some M&M's? Like, I'm say it again. M&M's. I can't even say it. Like my 41 plus years of training and conditioning won't even let me say it. I'm just sitting there like, I have failed you. And Z was trying to say, like, she was trying to teach her how to say it. Like, what is that? I'm like, no, it's just, that is who she is. Let her be her. You know, just M&M's. M&M's. Whatever she said. So that was a blow to my ego and a failure on my part. But man, I had some of the funniest moments. Okay. One of the best pure moments of joy I've ever experienced. Just singular moments, unexpectedly. We were on our honeymoon, and Z was, I think, at the bar or something, and you just look up at the TV and just try to figure out what's on. The volume wasn't on, and I didn't know what was going on. And what I saw was like the best 10 seconds of unexplained TV in my life. Have you ever caught the U.S. Air Guitar National Championship?
Wait, what?
Exactly. But it is the single greatest moment, single greatest sports competition out there. So I literally was watching, you know how you just look like, what the hell is this? And it was just this random chick. She had on like country western gear, frills, and she was just doing just air guitar and stuff like that. And I saw the end of her performance. I'm like, what's going on? Then they had the replay of her performance kind of critiquing how she really was into it and telling why she was one of the best, because they were like, you know, when you're watching sports and they'll freeze frame and they'll circle a certain part where like the defense collapsed or whatever. So they're circling her fingers to show how she really was on the right court. I'm sitting there below. I'm like, what is this? And then it goes to commercial. It's ESPN Ocho, ESPN 8. The Ocho. And guess who was hosting it? Motherfucking Dave from Double Dare. Dog, I'm like, you can't ask for a better moment in television. I'm just sitting there like, and so I told Z, like, watch this. I went to the restroom, like, watch this. And she's like, what the hell was that? And we were leaving, and she didn't understand why I was so enamored by this show. She thought it was a spoof or something. I'm like, no, baby, that's a real competition. There are people in the world right now practicing air guitar. And I'm like, how do you become a professional or / amateur air guitarist? Are you an air guitarist by day and you moonlight like you work at Wendy's or some shit because your passion is air guitar and you're dedicating all your time? Or are you an upstanding citizen like a dentist or a broker that's, this is what you do by night and air guitar is your true passion and you moonlight as an air guitarist? I don't know. It's a whole other world I've never explored. Like, I'm into this now. Like, I didn't understand what's going on. It was so many thoughts going through my head about this single greatest moment in sports. U.S. Air Guitar Championship, bruh. ESPN 8, the Ocho. Check it out. I'm a fan. I don't know, bruh. I'm like, I gotta tell him about it. Bro, you have to see it.
No. Where were you? Because where'd y'all go for your honeymoon?
We went little islands in the West Indies.
Some islands?
Yeah, some islands.
Yeah.
Turks and Caicos.
Turks, yeah.
That was Turks and Caicos. I mean, it's not.
Okay.
I mean,
it's not Bora Bora.
Yeah, it's not Bora Bora or anything. It's Turks and Caicos. It's a small little island.
Way to downplay it.
But no, bro, it was
nouveau Negroes. I swear, man.
Bro, I saved all my nickels and dimes for 2 whole weeks. Was that Chuck E. Cheese commercial, or what's his actual name? Razi? Chester Entertainment.
Charles Entertainment Cheese. Yes.
You learned
I did not know that.
Yes, Charles Entertainment Cheese, Chuck E. Cheese. You learn something new every week on this show. So, My last point I'll save around my question because it was another just epiphany that I had. So let's go. Let's hit it. Let's get on with the show. Who wants to start? What do we got?
Oh wait, Sophie wants her joke. She said she cannot go to sleep before then. Sophie's back.
Okay, I was trying to avoid it because I thought she might be asleep. I know tomorrow's the first day of school, and I was trying to like just slide past that, but I didn't know Sophie was there. So because I know you said you were putting her to sleep, but dang, Sophie on the ones and twos. Let's get it.
All right, hold on.
Hey, it's the birthday girl.
Oh, it's her birthday?
Happy. It was last week. Happy 8th birthday.
I'm turning 9.
No.
Are you turning?
Yeah, you're turning 9 next year.
No, I turned 9.
Sophie, we go through this every year. Don't you think I would know how old you are by now?
No. Because you don't. I'm 9.
Do you know how to count?
I know how to count.
I'm just saying. Okay. You're 9, okay? I mean, if you want to pretend like you're 9, then we can do that. It's your birthday month, so however old you want to be, you might as well be 27 since you're 9.
No, I'm 9.
Okay, sure, why not? Then I'm 12.
Cool. That means no more alcohol for you. No more.
All them out. You got you.
That's illegal now.
I don't drink, Sophie.
Good.
Okay, I heard you got a joke for us.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The word British for British people is pronounced British.
Gotta finish.
What does it say?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's try it again.
Oh, that's funny. Take 2. Action.
Your daddy can edit this.
All right, let's try it again.
Edit. Okay.
Sophie, take 2.
Unmute.
I'm gonna mute. Go.
Okay. Why is the word British for British people pronounced British?
Why is the word British for British people pronounced Brish? Ish. No. How do I do this?
You got it?
They don't.
You got it?
Something about they sit out for tea or something like that. It's something about tea.
Because they drink all the tea.
Bam, bam. I'm on fire. I got it. Yeah.
Wait.
British.
Have a good first day of school tomorrow.
A fun fact about me is that when I was little, I used to watch so much Peppa Pig that I had a British accent for a while.
You used to watch so much what?
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig, to the point where I had a British accent for a while.
Yeah, when you were little, right?
Yeah.
Definitely had my share of those.
See you
Bye-bye.
I'm here
Yeah.
next week.
Peppa was so. Oh, that was I couldn't understand how they got into the cartoons of these days. The animation and stuff was just so.
It was, yeah. I guess that's what was appealing. Like the animation was relatable to what most kids draw. You know?
I didn't think about that.
Now that other pig, Olivia, and her smart ass mouth. I ain't like that.
You beefing with Olivia Pig?
She had a smart mouth, though.
She did.
All right,
Peppa wasn't feeling Susie.
Oh Lord, we're about to go.
When Susie can whistle.
Yeah.
The episode where she can whistle.
Peppa was a hater, dog.
she flew hung up on her.
Peppa was a hater. You know, everybody, they let Daddy Pig didn't get to live his best life. They was hating on him. That man was just trying to live life to the fullest.
Kept calling him fat.
Yeah. You're all pigs.
Yeah.
I mean, they all had a weight problem. Let's call it what it is. You know?
Yo, who first, man? Ferg, you should go first, man.
Okay.
Fresh off the 10 years, you know what I mean?
Alrighty. So this is another thing that happened while I was on vacation. So we were at this little restaurant called Castaways, and they had a live band, and it was the singer there was awesome. He was a reggae singer, but it was so crazy because he sounded so much like Bob Marley or whatever, but he was singing a lot of cover songs to the point you thought it was a Bob Marley song. And I'm like, is he lip singing this? And then I was like, nope, that's not Bob Marley. So at one point he started singing Careless Whisper by George Michaels, right? George Michaels, you remember George Michaels, white guy? Mm-hmm. Did y'all rock with George Michaels?
He had a hit or two.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, here and there.
So to me, I remember growing up with George Michaels, and I feel like that was a bad white boy, until, back then I was, then we found out he was gay and all that stuff, and people were hurt, women were like, that's a bad white boy. And so it made me think about, it's a random question. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of white male artists? Hint.
Wow.
Hashtag, that's a bad white boy. Like, think about it. Like, we've all had those white boys, you know, those white musicians over time, like, that just have always just kind of got invited to the picnic. So, who are your Mt Rushmore of white male artists?
Man.
AKA, that's a bad white boy.
Pause. So
we're 40 something years old, Razi. We don't got
to who's the can we do bands, or is it has to be an individual?
Submit it for approval.
Okay. All right. Hold on. We're gonna have to wait a second and get these because I don't.
You don't want to just
Rushmore's 4 or 5?
4. You don't want to just throw any name out there.
You
gotta. This is
some help out there. So you got George Michaels, you got John B, you got Eminem. You know, just still a badass white boy. You got KC in the Sunshine Band.
So already off rip, I gotta go with what's his name? The headliner for Aerosmith, John Bon Jovi.
No,
that's Bon Jovi.
Steven Tyler.
Steve Tyler. Okay, so yeah, I'll go Steve Tyler.
I don't want to
or we can just say Aerosmith. Eminem, got to put him on there.
Then you got dude that was married to Paula Patton. I can't think of his name.
Oh, damn, Robin Thicke.
Yeah, Robin Thicke.
On the Rushmore? No.
Hey, that was a badass white boy at one point.
He's just throwing names out there for you, man.
I'm just throwing names out there. I'm trying to give you white boys to consider.
Yeah. All right. But you got yours already? You got
people that had Kenny G up there.
I got 3 of them at least. The Aerosmith one was pretty good, though, to be honest. That's pretty damn good. I know 3 of them. Eminem is definitely up there for me. I know the present day, you know, everybody tries to act like Eminem can't rap. Eminem can spit. He's up there for me. Paul Wall is up there for me. I mean, his verse on Drive Slow alone, I think he outspit Ye on that joint. I do have Kenny G up there. That dude is dope with, what does he play? Sax?
Was it alto sax or something like that?
Yeah, he that dude fire, man. The 4th one, let me think on that. Let me let y'all name some people, and I'll add my 4th. But those are my 3 so far.
And we was just rocking with hard.
Yeah.
And White Michael don't count.
No, White Michael don't count.
Just messing.
Oh boy.
What was the movie about the guy? He did We Will Rock You and all of those. Like, dang. Obviously, I can't put him on Rushmore because I can't even remember his name, huh?
We've definitely left out Justin Timberlake.
Oh, man, yeah. I was thinking about him. Y'all got to be careful, though. I don't know if Black America has forgiven him yet.
I'm just saying, when he came out, that was a bad white boy. You gotta.
Well, for me, not when he came out with NSYNC, but when he left NSYNC, I was like, you know, when he came out with Cry Me a River, I was like, okay, all right.
So Mark Wahlberg, we can't.
Not for me. Acting,
put on
yes.
that. I mean, not from his acting, yeah. Like but he moved in acting, but. We only talking music.
If that's we're only talking music. Only music.
Okay, all right. No, I can't put him on a musical Rushmore. So,
you know, I'm gonna put Justin Timberlake on mine unless I think of somebody else. I'm gonna put Timberlake on there. Janet said that he asked her if he wanted her to be with him during the whole Super Bowl fiasco, and she told him no. I know a lot of y'all still don't accept that, but hey, the woman said that he actually tried to like take some of that smoke too. So
they still rocking to his music though. Like that song with him and Chris Brown right now, it goes. So I think it's still fine.
John B is good, but they just had the one album.
He only had that one album.
Yeah.
You can't really.
Yeah. That I can think of.
That song with Pop
is
was
dude's
classic
name?
though to me.
I'm trying
I
to
like
think. Y'all need to put Bieber out there?
I'm not.
Biebs? No? Okay.
No, but it's your list. It's your list.
I'd risk it to put Timberlake on there. I wouldn't put Justin Bieber on there.
Let me try to think.
I mean, well, if it's that's the problem. Like my taste in music is so eclectic that
I have to put JT on there because he had
Cry You a River. Love that song. Oh, but who I was trying to describe was Freddie Mercury from Queen. You know, they did Bohemian Rhapsody about him. So that's another one that a lot of black folks was like super down with. But you know, if you're in the rock. So you're more so thinking crossover white boys, because you got folks like the Beastie Boys, you know, that were almost as big as Run DMC at one point. If that's the case, though, you got to put Biebs on there too. I mean, I'm just saying, based off of what you're talking now, like, you might not rock with them like that, and that's why, you know, a Rushmore is always your personal Rushmore. But based on that, Justin Bieber is just as big of a draw. He might get some of those plays at the picnic and all of that stuff. For a long time in his career, he was invited to the picnic.
Bieber was invited to the picnic?
Yeah. But yeah, like, you got to think, like, Haley's of the world. Like, and so that's probably why I probably like rock with Biebs or no Biebs more. Young people don't get to decide
who comes to the cookout. They ain't even paying for any of. Yeah, they ain't even paying for none of the food.
Haley's not young. Haley's over 20 now. Like, but she's
the age she was when she thought he was invited to the cookout. What was she, like 10 or whatever? No.
Yeah.
Haley, just come get your plate.
There was a lot of moms that were rocking with him too, because probably their daughters or whatever. You know, so, I think a lot of our listeners will put him on there.
So,
all right, so I'll give you my 4. Like I said, I'll give you George Michael's hands down. JT is on there for me. Eminem for me, and then I have Aerosmith on there because I think Aerosmith is one that. Buff, did you get your other 2 in?
Yeah.
What were your 4?
It's Eminem, Paul Wall, JT, and Kenny G. And Eminem especially because during that time, they tried to pass off a lot of white boys as being the cool white boy. Like, they tried to feed us Kid Rock. They tried to feed
Vanilla
us
Ice.
They tried to feed us Fred Durst. Well, Vanilla Ice was before Eminem. But yeah, I just think what he did was dope because, like, in that sense, when you say Vanilla Ice attempted to be that white rapper that was accepted. A few others did. I think Eminem pulled it off the best.
Yeah, what was it, like Cypress Hill? Mm-hmm. They did their thing. So I mean, Beastie Boys I talk about. There was always that white rapper niche the whole way through. Eminem made you forget he was a white rapper. Mm. It wasn't like, oh man, they're good for white boys. Right, it was like, this dude good. Yeah. Like,
okay. Who's next?
I'll let Razi go.
Let me see. I think I got something. All right. Yeah. I saw a post from a dude that was talking about, you know, he can love his lady and still cheat on her. And, you know, he was just like, would you rather have a dude that, you know, can't, basically he was talking about like successful men and it's okay for them to cheat because, you know, they teaching you how to build wealth. They can fund your vision, your dreams, do all this other stuff, and it's okay for them to cheat. But then he's like, or would you want a dude that's just going to cheat on you, or a dude that's not going to cheat on you, but don't work, ain't got no job, ain't feeding into you, can't help you or whatever, but he's faithful to you. And he was trying to make that case. And I kind of took that and started thinking through it, and I was wondering, is there like a respectable way to cheat? Like, is it one of those things that, like, you can cheat on me, but don't be like putting it in my face. Don't bring the chick around. Don't be out like, eating dinners and stuff with the chick you cheating on or cheating with, or, even if the lady's cheating with the dude. Or is it like, cheating is cheating no matter what? Is there a respectable way to cheat?
That depends on your lady. Like, the scenario you just gave, it sounds like she's okay with it as long as you don't put it in her face, don't bring home any outside kids or diseases. Don't put it like this, don't embarrass her. Then, in that relationship with that woman, it sounds like there is a respectable way to cheat. But I think the majority of women, people, because you asked the question from the sense of a man cheating. So I think the majority of women would say, no, cheating is cheating. And they would also say that there's an in-between. There's an in-between between the extreme of a guy that's faithful but ain't worth a damn and a guy that does everything a woman needs but cheats. There's a happy median in that. So
the guy that cheats sometimes.
no, man.
Just once a year or whatever, he slip out. But with that,
once a year.
but with that, like, is there a way that would do you see a lady staying or a guy staying if she was cheating? Like, like I said, like once a year, every once in a while, and like slipped up and got caught like from a one-off or something like that, versus like, I got a whole nother family or a whole nother relationship out there. Like, that's kind of what I mean. Is it like levels to cheating?
Yeah, it's levels. That's an affair. Women may not want to hear that, but it is levels. That's a whole affair right there. Versus,
so that's what it is. It's like cheating versus an affair.
Yeah. Cheating is like meeting an empty parking lot, get it in the back seat or a hotel or somewhere like that. An affair, like you got a couple of pieces of clothing over her house and shit like that. So y'all take trips together sometimes. So yeah, it's levels to it, man. But again, I don't see many women being accepting of either one. Now, this is what I will say. I don't know if it's specific to your question. I do think there are certain examples of cheating that one can forgive their significant other a little more easily versus another example. Like, if your significant other is getting her back blown out in your house, in your bed, while you working a 16-hour shift, and you come home and see that's one thing. Versus, like you say, Razi, she slipped up, y'all was already like not in a good space or whatever, and she met somebody, she made a mistake, it happened at one time. She may even come and tell you about it. Like, you don't even have to find out about it. She tell you, she completely feels horrible about it. I can see where some people will be more forgiving in that scenario versus the other one where they just completely disrespectful, no regard, like no cut card whatsoever.
Okay, so if it happens on a girl trip, because I hear they be cheating on these girl trips.
Oh Lord, here we go. That started a little gender war right there. That post right there, yeah. Girls trip.
Was that Allison that posted that? Like, they be cheating.
I think so.
That was Marquise. No, Marquise posted that. He's like, they be cheating on these girl trips.
Yeah, they do. And women trip me out because, like, so when go ahead, Ferg.
No, tell your story, bro.
Hold on a second. What do you mean? Get it. You're not gonna see you. Get it. Anyway, women trip me out because
Roger saw you.
My bad. I ain't even see. Oh, that's funny. Women trip me out because they will celebrate when a woman, like they were celebrating Jada Pinkett in the whole entanglement thing. That's right, girl. That's right. You know what I mean? And they say, well, you guys do it all the time, so you can't say nothing. First off, that's not true. Second, even if it is true, we wasn't high-fiving Jay-Z when we found out he was cheating on Beyonce. Like we didn't say anything. It just seems like sometimes women, especially on these social media platforms, kind of celebrate it a little more. I can be wrong about that, but that's what I see. Yeah. Okay. Well, go ahead, bro.
So I'm gonna start off very simple. Cheating is bad.
Yeah, we got an episode on that. Yeah,
I mean, check out the cheating is bad episode.
So, to cheat is to act dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain an advantage, especially in game or examination. So, the first part of that, act dishonestly. So, I can't agree. There's no. It's wrong. Point blank. No questions asked. Byron hit on the fact that it's some things are forgivable. I get it. Happens. There's certain situations, you talk about somebody working 16 hours, getting their back blown out, that full-blown affair, or the girls trip and you slip up and some fall on you or something. I don't know what happens, but all of that stuff is still dishonest. The only time
I think they trip and fall on it.
Oh, they tripping. I don't know how that happens. Yeah. I don't know how. I don't know. Cheating is bad, so and black men don't cheat. And so the only way any of that works is you can't cheat. There has to be some understanding in that relationship. It might not be normal for other people, but it's to understand that your man is, a quote unquote man, and he makes mistakes every once in a while, and you're okay with that. It's not that but you understand it. It's kind of part of the dynamics of your relationship. It can be unspoken, it can be spoken, but it's something that you understand. You know that once a year, or she go on a girls trip. I mean, I'm not gonna ask because I know her girls. I know how they were in college. They gonna do their thing. I'm just not gonna ask. She comes back happy, and she won't go on another girls trip for 3 or 4 years. Do I like it? No, but I get it. Do you talk about it? Yes, no, I don't know. That's up to them. But that dishonesty, to me, there's no way to condone cheating because it has to be the definition of cheating is it's dishonest. And I think there has to be some understanding. In your initial scenarios, Razi, people were willing they understood their situation and they accepted their situation. It was, you know what? He make a lot of money. Motherfucker's gonna throw that at him. And so, he don't bring that stuff home. He doesn't do this and this, and he take care of his family. And I'm okay with that. Maybe and I'm not saying that she's right or wrong, but she's okay with that situation. Maybe it's the way they were raised or the culture, and that's all she's seen, because that's kind of, what we seen. Or vice versa, hey, your woman gonna slip up one day, dog. She gonna step out on you. They'll, just get ready for it. It's gonna happen one day. I've heard that. I've heard men say that. The key is you got to forgive her, and if she come back, she's yours forever. I've heard people say that.
Till the next time.
Till the next time. Cheat in the next room. Yeah. But I think there has to be some understanding, spoken or unspoken. But when you're like, your rule of thumb is like, nigga, you cheat, I'm gone, or vice versa. There's no, unless that's all talk, but there's no line of gray. I know it sounds, I'm all high and mighty, but I know I'm shallow. I know my ego would not allow me to look at my wife the same way if she cheated on me. So that's how I go in with it. Like, there's no understanding. There's no deuces. So
it's funny to me. I do think there's a respectable way to cheat. And again, like you said, Ferg, cheating is bad. Okay. But look at movies like Baby Boy, and when Jodie was like sleeping with the chick at old girl job. You know what I'm saying?
But you know how I feel about that. You know how I feel about all those movies. Like I feel like
I know, but I'm just saying, it's like, you know, you hitting a chick at your lady job, you hitting her friend. Like, there's a lot of friends that, you know, slide up in the Players Club when the cousin was, you know, he was cheating with the cousin and things like that. Like, that for me, I think is out of bounds when you talk about cheating. And so that's my whole thing, is I do think there's a respectable way. Like, even if you is going to cheat, or you are going to cheat, Lord, even if you are going to cheat,
it's not it's a more respectable way. It's not.
I think they're different. I think there's respect and there's cheating. Again, cheating is bad. It's wrong, but you can do it respectably. Like, yeah, you can respect your lady enough not to do it, not to throw it up in her face. You can respect her enough.
I lie because I love you.
Exactly. You know, you can do it so that, you know, you don't embarrass her. You hear that a lot from girls, right? Like, how are you going to embarrass me? It's not even that you cheated, it's that you cheated and embarrassed me about it. Like, you're doing it with the chick at the church. So now I'm looking at this lady, you know, every Sunday, and she just looking at me side eye, and I don't know why, but now come to find out, you know, you were cheating with her, that type of thing. So it's keeping that separation. Talk about these trips, right? Hey, you go off on your trips. You know, things might happen. You come back. That's a respectable cheating.
But it's an understanding. That once again, it goes back to the understanding of somebody.
I don't think it's understanding. I think even if you never get caught, it's like you kept it away from home, and so and that's male or female in my eyes. It's like you kept it away from home, and so that you don't necessarily embarrass the other person. Like, you can get caught cheating, and y'all can break up, y'all can have a public irreconcilable differences, yada yada yada, and I don't come out looking like I couldn't take care of home or whatever. You know what I mean? I think it's the optics of it all when I talk about being respectable versus it being right or wrong. We agree it's wrong in any way, but I think the optics of it is what makes it respectable.
Yeah, every wrong thing has a respectable way to be done. I mean, shoot, we seen Gladiator. It was a respectable way to kill one another. Remember when he was about to die, he's like, at least give me an honorable death. You know, it's a respectable way to rob. It's a respectable way to do all kind of bad things. It's still wrong, but it's a more respectable way to do certain things.
Yeah. So that's my take on that. That's where I'm coming from on it. So, ladies, tell us if we're wrong on it. Do y'all think that there's a respectable way to do this thing, to do the wrong thing? Like,
okay, I can agree.
We're still going to say it's still wrong.
And I'm still going to say there's a more respectable way to do the wrong thing. Because you
still
said
disrespecting her?
Yeah, like the thing about it is like you're still dishonest and like, but the thing about it is you were saying the girls trip. Well, if she don't get caught, she can do it every day. The girls trip don't make a difference. If she can play the game and just nigga every day and never get caught, it's respectable. Is it respectable because it's a girls trip? And
where is she cheating? Like, is she bringing him in or dude into the house? Because when she brings him into the house, it's disrespected at that point.
Okay, so as long as so as long as she messes with him at his house every day, it's respectable.
Also, in my scenario, when I say one example, I can see where someone is more likely to forgive them. They can't be doing it like in Razio's example every year. Like, hey, I went on my fella's trip. Met this chick named Cinnamon.
It happened again.
It happened. And then boom, a year later, babe.
Like a hangover?
Like, nah. I'm talking about the one time. Like the one time you got like 10 good years. You slip up and then the rest of the
marriage. Babe, I did it again. Yeah, I married a prostitute, and I think she's pregnant.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'll call you later. All right, love you. Bye.
So look, my question, I was mad actually when you mentioned it a few weeks ago, Ferg, because I had it saved as one of my questions, but we didn't elaborate on it too much. So I think I can ask it and it still be fresh. So Procter & Gamble, we spoke about, they made the commercial called Widen the Screen. All right. And for those of you that haven't watched it, real quick, it's 3 scenarios in the commercial. It's one scenario is a brother with dreads driving a Monte Carlo, I believe it is. He gets out the car with a duffel bag. You automatically assume, okay, he got some weight. And see, when I saw this commercial, as a matter of fact, I glanced at it and I had already formed my opinion. I was like, I know where this is headed. And then I started doing something else. And it wasn't until I saw the end of the commercial that made me rewind it. It was like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't see that coming. Because you got that scenario with the brother with the dreads. You got the woman. She has a kid. She's holding a baby. And she's pregnant with grocery bags. And the way the camera zooms in, it zooms in on the bus stop sign. So you're assuming, okay, some welfare woman, single mother with kids, about to catch a bus and go back to the projects. And then the third one is these young black kids that go in the convenience store and the clerk is kind of watching them and it look like they're up to no good. So you already form your opinions. And what happens is they purchase whatever they purchase with no problems at all. The guy with the dreads, he's going to his family's house to celebrate a birthday party. And the woman, as we mentioned in the last show a few episodes ago, her husband is pulling the minivan around and picking her up. So in the commercial is just saying that we think these things because of the narrative that has been painted on black people for years. I said all that to say this and ask you guys this. Should we fault some of our black directors for this narrative? Because we know what white Hollywood has done over the years. But we have Spike Lee, Nate Parker, we even have Denzel, the Hughes brothers, John Singleton. John Singleton is responsible, and the late John Singleton at that. But he's responsible for Snowfall. He's responsible for Boys in the Hood, Baby Boy, Poetic Justice 2, I believe. All movies that, may have had a good message at the end, but en route to that message, we saw a whole bunch of the stuff that widen the screen thing was talking about. So should we hold our black directors a little more accountable and start making more positive movies as you like to see, Ferg?
Mine is real quick. So yes, and not just them. That's why I don't support a lot of things that portray us in a negative image, because we see it so much. I call it the good times effect. Because at the end of the day, good times, scratching and surviving, all the struggle, love, all the stuff happens, and at the end of the day, it works out. Good times. That's what we're so used to seeing. So it's okay to do those things. Yeah, it's entertainment. I know that's where we're going to go. We don't want to always see, the button-up brother with the 4.0 GPA and the two-parent household and everything works out. That Cosby Show world is not always entertaining, but I think we have to be careful to, it's scary in this world to talk about Cosby Show and the positivity behind that, but we have to be careful to just show that there's more to us in that. Just like you said, Byron, it's become so ingrained in us that we bought into the stereotype. When you saw the commercial, I was kind of like you, where is this going? Yeah. Where's this going? Where's this going? I thought the welfare mother, the duffel bag boy, the boys in the store. And I'm like, it's...
I was wondering, was it an ad for some upcoming show or low budget movie? So I diverted my attention to something else.
Yeah. And so that's my thing is, I think it's on black studios, black directors, just people in general to say we want more. Actually, I think it's more on the audience than the directors. Because they're going to keep making what you're going to buy. Rather than when you tell them you want to see more, it's supply and demand. Why make a movie that nobody wants to see? So if you're saying I need to see more of this, and to balance it off, does all the good time stuff need to go away? No, I mean it can be entertaining. I love Menace Society. I love those movies, but the thing about it is not that many. The great debaters and stuff we don't talk about those movies as much as we talk about some of these iconic hood classics. Because we got iconic hood classics. We don't talk about those movies we don't talk about as much. I know, Razi, you and your blurs.
I'm getting ready. Yeah.
but you think about it, we're not the norm, bro. We're not the norm. Let's be honest.
I'm not saying I'm the norm. Go ahead and finish. I don't want to interrupt.
I'm good.
Okay. My thing about it is, I do think we have to fault them a little bit. I'm not gonna knock that. We do have to fault them. We have to hold them accountable. But that Procter & Gamble commercial was all about screening reference cinematography. You talked about how they zoomed in on the bus thing, right? Mm-hmm. You talk about how they showed the bag from a certain angle. And so we're used to, in cinematography and watching movies, knowing that when you show me that angle, when you show this, whether that guy was black or white, the angle that they used and the bag that they showed, we would have assumed probably the same thing. So, if that young lady had been white with those 4 kids around her pregnant and they zoomed in on that bus stop, we would have assumed she was trailer park trash, right? So it's not necessarily that it was a black-white issue or anything like that. It literally was how cinematography works, how movies are made, how they're framed, and how they're referenced. But again, yes, we have to hold our black directors to a little bit of a higher standard, but I think we do, and I think those black directors are telling those stories. Ferg, you talk about supply and demand that will get made, that they can find the funding for, but what they do in that is they tell that story from a holistic approach. It's not just those negative stereotypes in there. They have those strong moms in there. They have Furious Styles in Boys in the Hood giving the gentrification speech. They have, the black kid that actually doesn't do anything wrong getting pulled over and talk about how, racial profiling and everything's happening. They're showing that part of our experience. And truthfully, why we talk about those as classics is because a lot of it we hit home with. We feel like, oh, they're finally telling our actual story of what we're dealing with. It's no different than NWA and them talking about F the police and how they were really giving the story of the hood, how it was really happening in the hood at the time, not this whitewashed version of everything's good. It wasn't good times. It was, hey, here's what's happening in my hood right now.
But at the same time, taken away from movies, that's why you talk about NWA, but that's why people like Drake, Childish Gambino, they're saying like, nigga, every rapper didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in the suburbs. There's more world than like, dog, I remember growing up in the hood and got pulled over. There's niggas that never been in the hood.
Right. And I agree. I understand that. But what I'm saying is it's like, yeah, there's niggas that never sold weight and lived in Miami, but we talk about Scarface the same way. Like, they're good, epic stories that you're like, oh my God, I like that. It was super entertaining. I like the action. It was cool. I wanted to be Scarface for a little while. That like you just grow up kind of doing that. Like, people like those types of movies same way, you liked horror movies growing up too. And you watch Candyman and everything else. They're entertainment for you. I think it's one of those things that, like, you talked about balancing the scales. You have to balance the scales inside of the movie as well as having the great debaters outside of those movies.
So I agree with you to a certain extent. I feel like we're missing a large part of the other story. We talked about, like, all black people. There's not there's so many different faces and levels to what we present, like being accepted as a blurred. Like, how many blurred stories do we have? There's some, I get it, but how many blurred are they telling Razi's story? They're telling that because the same way we might be able to see that Procter & Gamble show, that commercial. Did we need that cinematographer for a lot of the white community to come to those? Because it's happening in our world where black guy walking down the street, he looks dangerous, he's out of place. There's no damn cinematography. He looks out of place. And you know why he looks out of place? Because all the things I've seen that help build my stereotypes of this, what a black boy does or a black man is. He's a danger. So maybe not for us, but it's still like, hey, there's more to our story. Like, for somebody to, I think we were at in Mobile, Ani was saying like we're some of the most non-dangerous looking people. Like she was like, there's nothing dangerous about you guys. Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is, that's to a black mother who has black sons who grew up in a black community. The three of us fit somebody's description. The three of us look dangerous to somebody. And is there enough stories out there showing that there's people that look just like us that aren't dangerous? And will they ever see that? And that's my biggest thing. Because it's not about us. We know our story. We know there's blurs and all this stuff, but we're dangerous because we're black. That whole driving while black is not because you're black. The end. That is the end of the story. So
and that was the beauty of the P&G, the wide. That was the beauty of that commercial, was that we made those assumptions. They used the cinematography to make the assumptions, because if you didn't use the cinematography, some people wouldn't make the assumption. Yeah, you had to make it hit. Like Byron said, looking out of the corner of our eye, even black people was like, "Oh, that dude got some weight on him." Like, we wouldn't have said that if they had to use the right angle, he was holding the bags out. We would have like, "Oh, maybe he's catching a flight or something like that." You know what I mean? You would maybe he's going to the gym. Like, we would have made the assumption probably in the positive, but because of the angles they chose, because of what they did, we even jumped onto the train of assuming that it was the bad side of what was happening. So they used that so even white people looking at that would automatically assume that, and then they showed the better angle, right? The full context of it all. It was a perfect commercial. It was great. But to Byron's question, I think we have to make sure that we don't judge them being able to get the movies made and get to where they could show directing credit and work in the system that they were working in and try to like rewrite history on it. Like, they wouldn't have ever gotten big time directing credits trying to make The Great Debaters first. You know what I mean? And so you gotta look at that too, is they were able to get their credits up so then they could make a Great Debaters or whatever. You don't have everybody who's a Spike Lee that did She's Got to Have It, in college and just all of a sudden made it big, and then boom, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, we'll let you make School Days right after that." Like that's a unicorn story. It's more so your John Singletons that was able to kind of take Boys in the Hood and all those shows, create them, and then he can actually infuse some positive images into it.
My bad, Buff. We hijacked your question.
Yeah, we did.
No, man. I agree with Razi as far as sometimes you don't have to have an entire positive movie or an entire negative movie. You can have like a Boys in the Hood with the messages within it. I do think it's easy to get lost, Razi, but I do get your point that you can have that balance within the same movie. And I just that whole commercial and Ferg, you definitely have challenged me on this just over the episodes we've done on, how you really hate seeing, you call it struggle love, just struggling black people in TV shows and movies. And I was just thinking when I watched that commercial, like, we have a nice amount of black directors now. Like, shouldn't we be getting more, or are we getting more and they're just not getting noticed? Like you guys mentioned Great Debaters, that's not nearly mentioned as much as Menace to Society or Boys in the Hood.
But Lean on Me is, you know what I mean? So you got is it Lean on Me or Stand By Me? What's the one with Mr. Clark?
That's Lean on Me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I just confuse them. Like, yeah. So Lean on Me. Yeah. But you have those classic movies like that too. You have your classic comedies, right? You've got your Beverly Hills Cops and all of those too. So in that same time period, they were making these movies that were comedies and stuff like that. You got your Nutty Professors and all that, all those Eddie Murphy movies that were out around that time at the same time. So you had other things that were just straight comedy. You had your Great Debaters and all of that.
That's just funny. That's not necessarily positive. And Lean on Me, that's arguable if that's really, they had the kids that did drugs. They had the black girl that got pregnant in high school. They had crazy Mr. Clark for the most part. I mean, it was some positive stuff in that too, but you all still
Sister Act 2. Give me Sister Act 2. Hold on.
I got nothing for you on that.
Yeah. I mean, so they were there, Ferg. I mean, we try to, the things that we watched were, there, but you got Akilah and the Bee. You got, all of those. So, there were positive movies with positive role models. And even today, I agree that we need more representation, but we're starting to get a lot more representation where, you look at, we talked about Blood and Bone. There's a couple black people in there that's in the lead. You talk about, there's a new one on Netflix now called Zero, and it's like a blurred superhero type thing. So that, they're starting to get them. It's just it took time, bro. I mean, you got to think we only 50, almost 60 years removed from freaking civil rights.
And to be fair, Nate Parker is doing his thing. It's like his first two movies, Birth of a Nation and what was the one on the Tuskegee Airmen. So he's definitely doing his thing.
Yeah, you got what's the one The Butler was in there. I mean, that's a pretty cool. I mean, it's all right, but you got that. You got Hidden Figures coming out. So people, you got our stories being told now.
And to me, most of the stuff you're naming are comedies. Like, we shouldn't only be positive when it's comical. And those movies are always, and I love them. It's always kind of a historical based on somebody's real life. You can't just make up a buff type character. You can't make up the same way they make up the same way they made up characters in Boys in the Hood. You don't see these made up characters where they're just doing, there's not a movie just based off of just a good black experience. We're making a movie about Razi, the self-made millionaire. It's just like they can't. I put it this way: I very rarely see them envision or come up with characters. Like, why is it so hard to just come up with a black character who's just positive? Like, you, to the point where not the comedy and stuff like that, but it's to the point where they can come up with a storyline where we're thugs. They can come up with a storyline where we're selling dope, or we're womanizers, or we're a baby boy, or something like that. They can come up with these. They can always envision us in these struggle love situations. It's very rare that they can imagine us doing something different. I don't see a lot of that, and us holding to that. I love those. You made a lot of good points, Razi. I'm not saying that stuff needs to be cut out, but it's always like, why can't, a lot of times we were talking about black princesses and stuff like that in Disney movies. I think we had a debate. It's like, it's so hard for them to imagine us in these roles. It's like, yeah, let's make a Frozen where there's a white princess and she does this and does this and this and this. Like, well, give me your pitch for a black princess. How does that go?
She turns into a frog most of the movie.
Give me your pitch for a black male figure. The one they just came out with, the one where he's a ghost and
Soul.
Yeah. So like, it's for me, it's always like, man, they can't envision or imagine us past certain roles, and the only time we really see ourselves, it has to be something real. Like,
give me an interesting story, and not right now, but I want you to sit down and I know we're not writers or whatever, but I want you to think through
I'm not a director.
An interesting story that has a positive role model that nothing actually negative happens to, and there's no I want to, like, if you don't have a story arc there, if it's not a love story.
What's your favorite non-black movie? Put a black character there. That's your answer.
Oh, so The Notebook. That's not my favorite.
We're gonna go down that.
I do like The Notebook.
Why can't they imagine us in those roles? You can't see a black love story like that where they transcend time and stuff like that. Benjamin Button, anything like that. Like, they thought of a story where dude aged backwards. Like, they're that creative, but they can't say, could he be black? Like, they can come up with anything, but they can't see us being in those roles.
You got a couple Will Smith movies like that. What about Hitch?
Comedy.
Hitch wasn't a comedy. Hitch was a romantic. Well, it was a rom-com. It was a romantic comedy. But I mean,
I'm not saying they're not there, Razi. I'm not saying they're not there. I'm just saying, like, it's And then it's like, there's like one or two actors that kind of get those roles. But I get it. Lovecraft Country was a good series. Like the fact that they created this world with this black community and stuff, like, I thought that was dope. This out before that.
The Watchmen.
Yeah, The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Think about it. They were starting to get there, but it's like it's so hard to imagine us in these roles, and they became iconic. Like, we can play those roles, we can do those things, we can just do more. I'm not saying it took us a long time to get there. Like you said, we're 56 years removed from Jim Crow and civil rights, but has it always been so hard to imagine us in these roles? Why did you put it on me to imagine us in these roles? It's like, there's people, their job is to come up with creative stories, and it's like, nah, I can't put a nigga in that role.
So
we're getting better.
Granted, that the thing about it is, it's not the writers a lot of times. It's the directors and the people that's picking, because a lot of times they don't really write in like, hey, this is a white character or a black character. What they do is they write the character, and because it's a white writer, a lot of times they put those nuances in there that make somebody automatically assume it's white.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
So that a little bit of that is the white who's in the writer's room is we, and that's why we're starting to see more black roles go and some of those characters go black, because we're getting more black writers in the writing room and stuff like that.
But they had to think about a black, to the point where, when you say the story, I can't creatively imagine a black person in his role. So a black movie is like, okay, it takes place in Compton. We need a black person. Who's our black lead? Like, for a lot of these roles, if it's in upstate New York, it's like, okay, that means it's a white person. Like,
well, I mean, when you think about upstate New York, there's like 3% black. So I mean, it's one of those things you automatically assume. But like you look at Lupin that came out on Netflix. It's in France, and they've got a black lead. That was dope as I don't know what to have him in there. It's
so rare. That's one of the things. Like, we're getting better. We're getting better. But it's like we can do it, and it shows that these things can be done and have an audience. Mm-hmm. So what's stopping it? It's like, if I'm about to write a movie, I want a black lead. Okay, because I feel like they write movies and want a black lead. And if they want a black lead, they have to make it a black movie. Rather than, I wrote this story. Lupin could have been black. Lupin could have been white. Lupin could have been a midget. Like, it didn't matter. But they wrote a role and they found somebody who fit the role for them. We can. This will continue this conversation in Miami, but I love your question. I love your question, Buff. But my thing is, I always get frustrated when I think people can't imagine us past these certain images. Mm-hmm. That's what it is for me. It's not that they're not there. It's just like, you can't imagine us. You can't think of it like, man, how can I create this dope world where I have this black lead and stuff like that? In all these movies we said, there was little pieces where it had to be a black role, like even. Lovecraft Country, because it was based off like this hierarchy. It was based off a very racist society. That was a whole point of the book. Like subserviency, and it was Lupin. Like, his dad was a butler or whatever the case may be, and he was a foreigner and all. So it was kind of like it had this. Well,
because again they wrote it that way, but he could have been from any foreign country, right? So, he could have been a butler from Sweden or whatever, and so that's the thing. It's one of those things that his dad had to be black because he was black, right? Like those types of things. But that's they can change that very easily in a rework of the first script.
So we're getting better. I mean, and I don't know if any of those, I think Lupin, I don't know if it had a black director, but Lovecraft and Watchmen had black directors and producers. Mm-hmm. So we give them a chance, and look what they do. And both of those directors were women, I feel like.
Well, Lovecraft Country had different directors for every episode, so it just depends on the episode for that one. So it just really depends.
Okay. But I digress. Bob, I love your question. Let's keep it going. let's go ahead and close it out, fellas.
All I got, man. Once again, wanted to congratulate you, Z Ferg, for a beautiful event, man. Had an awesome time. Even though I got COVID after that. So I want to shout out everybody for the thoughts and prayers. I really didn't make a big deal out of it. I think I made one post about it because it had me up like all night, one night, couldn't sleep. But thank everybody for, the words of encouragement, the love, the reaching out, saying, do you need anything like that? All the assistance that I got, folks dropping off stuff for me to eat, for the kids to eat, because I couldn't really go and interact with them very much. So again, my second time having COVID, but this time was much worse. So I appreciate all the support there, man. And again, everybody, I know school's back in for most folks. I really enjoy the first day of school pictures. I know everybody's like, oh my God, my timeline, it's annoying, but I really enjoy it, man. I love seeing the kids on the first day. I'm gonna post mine. I had to go and get school clothes the night before because I hadn't went and bought school clothes yet, but you do what you got to do. But keep posting those things, man. School's back in, and I just pray for a good school year. If you guys see anybody who needs help or assistance during the school year, man, go ahead and be the person that you need to be and help them out. That's really the biggest thing that I want to say. Let's get all of our babies through to college, to a trade school, through to whatever they need to do to advance themselves and be the community instead of everybody being individuals trying to get these folks through school. So that's all I got, man.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's that school board thing coming out, man. I'm really into it right now.
So one of the things I mentioned was Will Smith's apology, and obviously that apology was to Chris Rock. I actually watched Kevin Hart's heart-to-heart interview with Chris Rock on YouTube about a couple of weeks ago, and it just made me want to go back and watch because they mentioned a lot of his comedy specials and stuff. And by the way, the interview is like pre-slap, so they don't talk anything about slap that occurred. But it made me go back and watch like his first 4 specials, which are the specials that made him become my favorite comedian. I do acknowledge that I think Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. But Chris Rock is my favorite, and his material still holds up, man. Like, just watching him, like the first one is like in, I think, 97 or something like that. And he's talking about mass shootings. He's talking about how women have the fake eyelashes and the wigs and stuff, and that's exactly what we're talking about today a lot of times on social media. Hoe shaming, police brutality, like it's literally like he's talking about everything that's still going on right now. So a lot of the material still holds up. I know some of the jokes, I believe I know others have said they cringe at now, like the whole black people versus niggas. That routine, a lot of people don't like. I still like it. I'm in the minority on that. I still like that routine. But yeah, just check out that interview if you haven't seen it. It's pretty cool, and see if it makes you do like I did and want to see some of his specials. They still hold up.
3 Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again.